Hello and welcome to the latest Minutes Network AMA. My name is Matthew Walsh and I'll be your host for today's session. This is our first AMA of 2026 and it's great to see the continued strength and engagement of the community. We closed 2025 by achieving 25 live destinations on the network, and we are carrying that momentum into today's discussion. Minutes Networks has been making steady and measurable progress across infrastructure, operations, and delivery. Today's AMA is about sharing those updates clearly and directly and giving you, the community, a transparent view on where the network stands and what lies ahead. On today's show, Josh Watkins, the CEO of Minutes Network, will be sharing key updates from across the organisation, covering multiple departments directly related to Minutes Networks. Once Josh has shared these updates, we'll move into community questions, followed by live questions from the audience. So Josh, over to you.
Thank you very much, Matthew, and it's a pleasure to be here. As many of us already know, Pakistan Jingle integration is currently taking place. We're not talking someday, not in the pipeline. It's happening right now. Today, I'm going to give you a date as to when we're going to see Pakistan live with Jingle. And before I do, let me give you a quick update as to where we stand, what we're doing, and what's been happening at Minutes Network. So, as you know, or many of you know, we have agreed on 2 or 3 million minutes per month as a production run for Jingle as a direct termination route into Pakistan. Let me break down exactly what this means from a technical standpoint for anybody that doesn't know or anybody that would like to understand more, because this is a brand new take on the $251 billion industry of telecommunications. And it's immensely attractive to existing multi-billion dollar and trillion dollar telcos globally. When an international call hits the network destined for Pakistan, it's our network destined for Pakistan, our routing engine performs a real-time lookup. And if that callee, the person that's receiving the call, if the callee exists on a Jingle-enabled application, we don't hand that call off to a third-party carrier. We don't pay termination fees to any intermediary. Instead, that SIP session routes directly through our own infrastructure, terminating on the recipient's device via Jingle. Clean origination to termination pathways, our SIP signaling, our RTP media streams, its carrier-grade audio quality. We've optimized jitter, buffering, and minimal latency in between. So these are the kind of calls with the kind of quality that keeps ASR high, ACD healthy, and customers extremely excited and happy. Now, here's where the engineering and the economics become incredibly interesting and unique. We are already actively working with multiple local partners on the ground in Pakistan, as you know, in preparation, or some of you know, in preparation to onboard these frequent callees. And I want you to understand what frequent callees actually means in terms of revenue, because this is not a linear equation. We're not talking about capturing 1% of users and getting 1% of revenue. These are the people receiving international calls regularly, and hence we call them frequent callees. The diaspora connections, family links, business contacts, these are single frequent callees. Let's take one, for example. It could represent hundreds of dollars in termination revenue every single month. These types of users are the revenue concentration point in any network. We onboard them and we capture the lion's share of the value flowing through that corridor. Now, this model is similar to a third-party application integrating Jingle, but with one critical difference. So in this case, in this model, we own the application, we own the traffic, we own the partnership, and we own the infrastructure. We also own the endpoints, full vertical integration from origination to termination. And as additional applications come live in Pakistan with their own Jingle integrations, and separately, of course, the Creators Program related onboardings continue to grow, these endpoints will be utilized where available. So the pool of Jingle-enabled callees expands from multiple directions, and every single one of them becomes a full margin termination opportunity. This is major. I'm not sure how much of this you understand. If you don't understand, I highly recommend that you do some research, because this is really critical to the future of telco. I'll cover that in more detail in just a moment. Now, this isn't theoretical, guys. We have an application, multiple applications that are going live in the coming weeks, not months, weeks. We are terminating directly through Minutes Network's infrastructure, with 100% of that revenue staying within our ecosystem. And that revenue is then used to pay for the deep-in services provided by MNTX switch and validation nodes that power this entire network. This is the flywheel. The traffic we're terminating today gives us the business insight and data we need. We see who's receiving calls. We identify the high-value callees. We work with local carrier-related partners to onboard these callees. And once they are on a Jingle-enabled app, that means that every single call to that user from that point forward is a full margin that we are collecting, full revenue that we're collecting, flowing directly through our infrastructure with no intermediaries, no shared margins, just Minutes Network end to end. Now, Pakistan is where this starts at scale. 2 to 3 million minutes a month, as I said, of live production traffic is expected and agreed upon. I do not believe that anybody in the industry today is doing it like us. And when I say like us, I mean the full effect explained, not just the telco, not just the deep in, it's a combination of factors. This is a total, absolute game changer. And when it happens overnight. It assists in building the foundation for what comes next in terms of hyperscaling. For those who understand this technology, or technologically speaking, that's excellent. For those who understand this commercially speaking, brilliant. For those that do not understand this, I truly advise you to listen to this session again, or ask a friend who understands this technology, ask AI, or anybody who's in the telco industry. This is a very, important, I would say critical moment in time for us as a company and the whole of telco as an industry. Okay, so we are looking at the last week of February for a launch, potentially touching the first week of March. We will see Jingle live on the Explorer, the new Explorer. And let's, look forward to that point, because as I said, this is absolutely massive. This is major for me as a person. This is major for us as a company. This is major for our partners and all of the participants involved in the network. So we really have an exciting time ahead of us. You know that already. Now then, on the licensed telecom expansion front, we've done very well. Africa, the Middle East, Asia Pacific, South America, these partnerships continue to progress. I mean, this is Minutes Networks operating as a licensed carrier in these regions through strategic partners, sometimes with our own license directly. We're not just passing traffic, but through these strategic partnerships that are already in place or currently being finalized in some countries, we're holding the infrastructure and the regulatory standing to operate at scale. This work has been ongoing, and it's work that will continue as we move forward. All of the traffic that we onboard in the system, we have, an eye whilst onboarding to optimize margins and revenue flow with Jingle integration. So, licensed expansion is only one piece of the picture, of course. We're simultaneously growing through every channel available to us. The Philippines, call center traffic building, Kenya, retail and calling card corridors are developing, Nigeria, Kosovo, Albania, wholesale routes live and performing. This is a truly multi-pronged approach, and we've done so to ensure, several paths to success to ensure that we get there as soon as possible. These licensed operations, these wholesale partnerships, this retail distribution and call center traffic, the calling cards, we're not waiting on any single channel to activate. We're executing across all of the available channels in parallel. Of course, then there's Turkey. Turkey was seen in late December. It became one of our top 5 busiest destinations within 24 hours of being live on the switches. We have big things planned with Turkey. in terms of voice traffic. Immense potential, huge amounts of volume, very, very exciting. Amongst the other 30 plus countries that are currently stable on the network. And that's really the key here. This isn't just about the termination volume. This is preparation. Every minute of traffic we're building in these corridors is laying the groundwork for Jingle application onboarding or direct onboarding. And when Jingle goes live in these markets, I mean, that's the margin optimization we're looking for. And then, of course, we have the ability to capture additional volume because our carrier partners are happy, right? So their profits are being reinvigorated through the flywheel that I just spoke of Mintech. Better margins for them, more traffic for us. Everybody wins. Let me put a number on what's ahead. Post Pakistan Jingle integration, we have more than 100 million minutes per month available immediately for Jingle enabled termination. And that's from a couple of very highly renowned and sought after companies that I'm not going to name today. We'll bring them to a session in the near future, some of the heads of those companies and their departments. So that's more than 100 million minutes, right? And that's not just us who want this and our partners and participants. The carriers actually want this themselves because it makes them more profit. It's reinvigoration of revenue. So that's the scale of the opportunity sitting in front of us right now. It will continue to expand. It won't stop there. And our proprietary technology makes our proposition exciting for the entire industry and not just for us. So lot's been said very quickly, but let me move forward here. Carrier by carrier, route by route, country by country, absolute domination of an industry ahead of us. Every single interconnection we add, every single minute we terminate strengthens the foundation for what comes next. Jingle integration, margin optimization, and again, very important, although I'm repeating it, it's the full flywheel effect at the global scale. So let's talk about some of the integrations that we've spoken about over time because they are very powerful integrations that are taking place. Let's touch on SEW. Let me address this directly. SEW is a massive company, and we've built technologies specifically for them to integrate call center related technologies that are designed to slot directly into their infrastructure. And this is still happening. This remains unchanged. Watch this space as we continue to progress with this major milestone. SEW isn't the only major integration in progress. As you are probably aware, and maybe some are not, we have an extremely large UK gaming company in line for integration with our SMS and voice technologies. A final demonstration of the requested technologies is currently being produced for them. And then we proceed to the next stages. The next stages is finalization of integration and visible revenue reinvigoration for our partners and an increase in revenue for Minutes Network. And let me be clear about what this represents, okay? This is an absolutely massive win for us as a company, Boss Revolution, etc. These integrations position Minutes Network's portfolio at an extremely high level, demonstrating that our technology stack is enterprise ready for some of the biggest players in the market today. So, you just have to sort of look back on what I've just said, perhaps rewind a little bit and understand how big this actually is. They will fall like dominoes. As each one onboards, you'll see that additional companies are onboarded as well. We do have boots on the ground in a lot of different, high volume areas in Europe, South America. The integration pipeline doesn't stop there. I mean, the Jingle integration is actively taking place in Albania, Jamaica, Philippines, Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, Pakistan, as I said, and many more countries beyond. And each one of these countries, as integrations complete, will fundamentally change the trajectory for us as a company and for our interconnecting carriers and partners. These are not isolated opportunities. This is a global rollout happening in parallel across multiple continents. So I hope you're excited as we are. As I said, last week of February, first week of March, we'll be able to see the results live in scale. Obviously, that scale will grow over time, but it will be visible growth to you. We'll touch on that visibility shortly. Now, there's immense opportunities on the table and across the board. We're following all of them, minute to minute, day to day, week to week. We spend, there was some comments like, oh, we don't care how long, the team are working for. You can work as long as you, well, we spend a lot of time. We enjoy what we do. A lot of the senior members of the team, we love what we do. We know what we're doing. We know what it brings to the table. We know what it does for our partners. We know what it does for us as a company. And we know what it will do for us personally as well. This is not just a win, not just any win. This is one of the biggest industries to actually win in, and one of the most difficult industries to win in as well, if you don't know what you're doing. Now, with my 20 plus years of telecommunications experience and the team's 200 plus years of combined telecommunications experience, we feel extremely confident in what we're doing. And every integration brings us closer to global domination in terms of the voice market and SMS market. And every application that goes live expands the pool of Jingle enabled endpoints. So every endpoint is a full margin termination opportunity. And if you ask me, success is not a question of if, it's a question of when. And that when is arriving faster than ever before. Now, moving forward, we continue to advertise Jingle both externally and through our internal partnerships and circles of trust. We continue to adopt new wonderful leads for the expansion of Jingle itself. And we're not slowing down. We're ramping up. A dedicated Jingle plugin advertisement campaign has gone live over the last couple of months in different countries that we're already running traffic in. And the plan or the positioning of that is to accelerate visibility and adoption across key markets. This is targeted strategic outreach designed to put Jingle in front of the developers and enterprises who need it most. As of November last year, 25, we've been working on an advanced consumer-friendly retail production demo of the Jingle plugin. Omri is highly involved in that as well. He's not here today. He's currently traveling on business. I'd love him to say a few words, perhaps in the next session, or perhaps by the next session, we'll be able to show you that. It will be available for everybody to try, so you won't just see it live and running in Pakistan. You'll actually be able to try it on your own telephone in an end-to-end test. This isn't a technical, proof of concept buried in documentation. This is a polished version or an accessible demonstration of the full Jingles feature set. It's built to impress, and we're showcasing capabilities aimed at game developers, the financial industry, existing telecommunications sector applications, social and messaging platforms, e-commerce and marketplace apps, health care and telemedicine providers, travel and hospitality applications, remittance and cross-border payment services, and much, much more. Enterprise communication tools, of which we have a couple on board already, and more, right? So whatever the vertical is, if there's a user running an app, Jingle has a value proposition to expand and strengthen our network and expand and strengthen our interconnected partners. Now, the feedback that we get continues to be overwhelmingly positive. Developers see it and immediately understand the opportunity. Monetization without adverts, without subscriptions, without paywalls, just seamless call termination flowing directly into their application. And that feedback is converting into action. We continue to score new integrations that will collectively generate an immense amount of revenue for the network. So the scale is not small. The scale is not tentative. We are talking scale on a continental level of rollout. Billions of potential endpoints, billions of users, markets with massive diaspora of traffic, high inbound call volumes, huge rates, app ecosystems hungry for new monetization models. And when this deployment executes, the numbers change, right? The game changes for everybody involved. Everything we've built, the infrastructure, the interconnections, the carrier relationships, the routing intelligence, all of it feeds into that moment. So it's the moment that we've personally all been waiting for. And I'm sure it's a moment that everybody on the participating side and partnering side has also been waiting for. Now, it's important to add that each integration adds to the network. Each endpoint expands our reach. If you don't know already, each deployment brings us closer to the scale that we've been building towards. And that scale, it's not years away. It's right in front of us, and it's rolling out now. And You heard us talk about MNAS, the Mintech Node Analytics Suite. That's what we call it internally, and I'm pretty sure we've referred to it like that on the roadmap. It's included in the Next Minutes Network Explorer update. It's a direct looking glass into Minutes Network, and we've taken the time to embed historic data, giving you the ability to track performance, trends and growth over time. The new Minutes Network Explorer will be coupled with live Jingle integrated data, real time as calls connects, as traffic flows. You'll see it connecting to Jingle direct to the endpoint. Now, on top of that, we're delivering deep traffic insights specifically designed for switch and validation node operators. You'll have granular visibility into what's moving through the network, volumes, routes, destinations, performance metrics. And this is transparency at a level that most networks never offer. They never offer participants or partners or their interconnections such levels of transparency. And with the MNAS suite, you can watch the network grow minute by minute in real time in a graphed, sort of comfortable, clean format with the Next Explorer update, coupled with MNAS when it goes live. It's a front row seat to everything we've been building, and it will be available as soon as Jingle is live in Pakistan. Now, Jingle is currently live on a very small user base. There is a chance that you will see an increase in sort of the statistics that you're currently looking at over the coming days and weeks, but the biggest increase will be noticeable at the end of the month and at the beginning of March. And from there, we expect to see a steady increase at a decent pace as we onboard local frequent callees into the network, and then you will start to see additional countries being rolled out into Jingle. I won't list those countries right now. We'll save them for the next event. Now, our proprietary technology stack is the engine behind everything you're seeing. The MFC, the Mintech Flexible Connect, it enables seamless route management and carrier interoperability. The Mintech Revenue Turbine, the MRT, optimizing every minute, every route, every margin, SMS and voice capable APIs for both origination and termination, giving partners full flexibility to plug into our infrastructure in any way they would like. Okay, that's developers, that's hobby builders, that's enthusiasts, that's service providers. It could be VASPs, it could be ISPs, it could be carriers. The distributed cloud switching infrastructure that scales with demand that we've been building and rolled out, and the distributed network validation that's in the validation nodes with the integrity monitoring. It ensures quality and security for every call and every layer of the network. Now, all of it, every single component is AI integrated. We're talking cutting edge, world-class technologies, purpose-built. As I said, all of it enables the ability to launch and currently being integrated into our class 3 and class 4 compatible instant settlement, automated, WM chain connected, voice, SMS, and data exchange. Unparalleled launch set to release later this year, with partners beginning to trial as early as March 2026. So that's major for Minutes Network. We do have an enormous amount of partnerships and existing interconnections, new interconnections, some that we haven't released yet. We do have those lined up to start trialing the software and the platform. We do take a percentage on all volume and settlements passed through the platform, and we're very excited to see the launch. It's utilizing all of Minutes Network's technologies, and Jingle-enabled routes will also be available to be filled by the public on the platform. So the technology is ready, and when this exchange goes live, it changes the way that it potentially changes the way that the whole of the telecommunications commercial industry operates. It's a new path to a large array of customers, whether it's wholesale, retail, calling card customers, or whatever the sector within the industry. It's a click away for them, right? Instant integration, instant interconnections, instant settlement, instant escrow, eliminates fraud in the industry, and it's a platform that simply does not exist today. I mean, it's very new to the industry. Now, it's also conveniently powered by technologies that did not exist until Minutes Network invented them. So before we close up on today's updates, and I believe that we've covered most subjects here today, and we'll make room for live questions. Before we move to the live questions, I just want to let you know that an updated Minutes Network roadmap is rolling out during February this month. It will contain updated milestones, everything that we've discussed today, and much more. It will also contain detailed information on Jingle launch dates in other areas. It will continue to grow. The information on the roadmap will be continually added over time. And you can expect updated delivery dates as well. So this is a detailed, comprehensive roadmap that reflects exactly where we are today and exactly where we're heading. It will primarily revolve around the integration of Jingle's technologies and Minutes Network's public-facing products and our full technological suite of engineering tool sets for voice and SMS and data supporting WM and the ramping up of all countries that we're operating in, along with a number of other topics that we've discussed today and some that we haven't covered during this event. So February, it's coming, and you're going to like what you see, guys and girls, or ladies and gentlemen. And last but certainly not least, before we move to questions and live questions, keep your eyes and ears open over the next week or so. You can expect to hear and see some major updates around SMS traffic live on the network. Volumes are set to increase. Additional destinations are being added with existing interconnections, and the number of onboarded countries is growing rapidly. Now, members of the Minutes Network voice team will be attending Capacity Dubai, February the 10th to the 12th, 2026, at the Grand Hyatt Dubai Conference and Exhibition Center. If you live in Dubai or you happen to be in Dubai at those dates or around those dates, you are more than welcome to reach out. The team will be available for meetings. One of the premier events in the international wholesale telecoms is the sort of Capacity Dubai. A lot of different players are there from all over the globe. We have a lot of friends, a lot of existing interconnected partners there. As I said, we'll be on the ground, meeting carriers, building and furthering existing relationships, and generally expanding our network presence. That's not the only conference. You can expect to see us at additional telecommunications events globally throughout this quarter. We're out there, we're showing up, and we're making sure that Minutes Network is in the room where the deals happen. So, all of that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Matthew, who has been gathering questions with the CM team and different departments from different teams from across the public social media channels, X, Telegram, Discord, that you've been sending in. And we've been reading every single one. Matthew, kindly take it away.
Thanks, Josh, for those comprehensive updates and also for walking us through the progress across the network. We'll now move into those community questions that were submitted ahead of today's AMA covering Minutes Network's infrastructure, integrations and network performance. After we've worked through those, we'll open the floor to live questions from the audience. Additionally, all questions that have been answered during the event so far have been removed from the community questions to avoid repetition. So let's get started. Josh, our first question. Is there a time frame for when Minutes Network data is scheduled to start settling on the world mobile chain?
Very important question there, Matthew. Thank you very much. And yes, we have sort of removed any duplicates and removed any questions that have been answered during this show to avoid repetition and wasting anybody's precious time today. So yes, there is a time frame. All of the data is currently prepared to settle on WM chain. And we believe that during Q1 this year, that it will start to settle and be visible on the WM Chain Explorer. This is not something that we're taking lightly. This is a major event, and we are using the WM Chain in the settlement process of the exchange that we're releasing. I mean voice and SMS and data exchange that we are releasing. So that being said, it's a vital component of that exchange. It also supports the settlement of payments and escrow of traffic and anti-fraud modules. A lot of data coming to WM Chain. We hope and believe that we will start to see that during Q1.
Thank you, Josh, for that update. Okay, the second question. After one day of Turkey being visible on the Explorer, it has become one of the top 5 busiest countries. The icon displays an almost complete circle, implying near 100% of something, but other countries display approximately 50%. Even though a country like Pakistan has many more calls, what do these metrics represent? What makes some of the countries have higher display metrics, even though other countries have higher calls and minutes?
Okay, so the Explorer's under a complete redesign right now. These circles are set to change. They will become much more elaborate. This is sort of version 1.1 of the Explorer. Version 2 is due to be released shortly. To answer the question directly, it's a comparison to the previous day. So a full circle means little or no traffic for the previous day. I hope that makes sense and answers your question, Andrew. You are welcome to tune in live or submit your question through one of the active communities that we will be following during the live question time if that doesn't answer your question.
Super. I think the entire community are looking forward to the new Explorer coming online. So we'll move on now to our next question. Could you please, Josh, explain why revenue dropped with the increase in the number of countries and minutes? Even if the amount / minutes is extremely low, revenue should still increase and not decrease.
So actually, the revenue has not decreased. The margins on the new countries that we've added, they are traditional telecommunications-based margins, meaning that they are very slim. As the traffic expands, you will obviously see the numbers tick upwards naturally. However, the Jingle integration will greatly improve these margins where it's integrated, where possible, when there are available endpoints. So just to make absolute clarity, perhaps you're seeing, for example, Bangladesh dropping, which is causing a drop in revenue, although I haven't seen that recently. But when we add these countries that are geared up to, prepare for the Jingle rollout and sort of give us base traffic, then it's very likely that these countries are absolutely not decreasing any revenue and are actually increasing it. So I would like you to take a look at the APIs that are available and take an understanding of what's what and maybe a deeper calculation is required. I must add that on the Explorer, the new Explorer, all of this information will be much more visible, although we will not show the exact rate for any particular country to avoid our competitors being upset that we're still making a profit, or to avoid interconnections asking for a cheaper deal. It will be separated by revenue, and you will have a clearer and deeper understanding at a glance without calculating via the API. So, Sim Aid, I do hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. That was rather comprehensive. I think that covers a lot of the questions around the revenue on the Explorer. So we'll move on now. The question is from Grogu. Is there a reason why minutes is up 2 times than the original, but we're still seeing mediocre daily buyback amounts or even lower than before?
So I think it's the same answer, right? The minutes is up 2 times than the original because we are adding traditional telecommunications traffic under the hyperscaling model. That traffic is extremely important. It allows us to cherry pick the frequent callees that land on the network and also gives us a base amount of traffic to prepare outside of the onboarding of third-party applications. This gives us the entire sort of ability to own the entire process ourselves rather than relying on externals. And we absolutely can rely on externals, but we feel extremely confident and even more so that we are controlling one element of the Jingle integration entirely ourselves, right? So that's what the traditional sort of traffic onboarding is there to do for us as a company.
Our next question is from Matt Larsh. The accumulated service fees are at 497k. What are the accumulated service fees? Money we have that is just sitting there, money we have provided services for, but will get paid in the future. The 12.5% of the revenue from Unity, will that go towards buying MNTX? Will that also sit somewhere for an unknown time? Can we see the 12.5% of revenue on the new Explorer site and clarify when we receive the 12.5% of revenue and maximum amount of time it will sit somewhere before it buys MNTX?
Right. So a lot of questions in the groups over time on this. So the accumulated service fees are literally as stated. They are accumulated service fees. Okay, they are the fees that are needed to be paid for the utilization of the DPIN solutions provided by our partner MNTX. Now, that money is indeed just sitting there, as you've referred to it. It's sitting tight, not losing on the market going down, as some people have mentioned in the chat over time. It sits in a bank account. Now, the money that sat there is used by the buy bots to make algorithmic purchases. Now, we have covered this time and time again. There are still lots of questions. There is a full integration and breakdown of the buy bots activities available in the new Explorer. The existing Explorer also offers a very clear breakdown, including details on each transaction that takes place. The buybot is random by nature. We do have some additional modules that are being put together as we speak. We have to be very careful with the buybot because it must stay random. It cannot become predictable, and that is the sort of idea and design here. Now, that money is strictly dedicated to the purchase of MNTX to pay for those accumulated service fees and will be used to do so. As Jingle Pakistan kicks in and Jingle in other countries, as well as third-party application integrations of Jingle for both voice and SMS, that fee is likely to skyrocket over time. Now, as far as I understand, this is as deep of an sort of explanation that I can currently provide today. If you do have additional questions, please do submit them either via social media or submit them live when we open up for live participants shortly. But you will have more information on the buybot on the new Explorer. And if you haven't checked out the existing Explorer and you haven't seen the information that's available today regarding the buybot, we recommend that you do so. It is truly random. It does behave in an unpredictable and an unexpected manner, and you should not try to guess its behavior. Okay, so one day it could spend $500, and another day it could spend $5,000.
I think that's very clear now, Josh, regarding the buy bot. Okay, so our next question is from Deepins. It's an interesting question because he's asking what are the various stages that we go through for integration with an application. So I'm going to read you his example, Josh, of the integration funnel stages that he would say use. And then if you could just tell us our flow, that would be fantastic. So Deepins is suggesting, are we use stage 1 in the discussion phase, stage 2, the SDK evaluation, stage 3, initial integration, stage 4, feature complete, 5, the QA and sandbox, 6, the pilot, and 7, production. So Josh, if you could just give us a brief breakdown on our flow process, that would be fantastic.
I think it's exactly as you stated. Some of those steps are missed, or some additional steps may be added. But it's literally as you've just stated. I mean, usually it's a discussion, and the initial interest is discussed and shown, and then there's an evaluation of the documentation. There's an evaluation of the privacy policy and the legal review, etc., which continues as we pass over the source code. There is, a demonstration of the integration with their application that's usually outside of the production code base. And I think, over time, those milestones internally become clearer and clearer. There are quite a lot of steps in terms of integration. It's not the integration itself. The technical integration is very quick. It is the formal and legal and sort of GDPR and sort of, policy side of the integration that takes a little bit longer than the technical integration. Technically, it's very sound, it's very logical, it's very easy to implement, depending on the type of implementation you're doing. So for game developers, if they want their the players of their games to have free gems powered by Jingle, they're earning revenue, right? Instead of paying their the people playing the games in fiat or whatever they're paying them. So some of these game developers have decided that they would like to reward their users in game, right, with in-game rewards. So depending on the type of integration, depends on the steps that need to be taken, depends on the legal review, depends on the size of the company, depends how quickly they move forward. Some companies sign contracts, they take a while to move forward. Some companies move faster than others, which is really why we've taken the additional approach with hyperscaling to ensure that Jingle integration is not only in the hands of third parties, which are moving as quickly as they can, and we're seeing positive responses from, but is also fully in our own control, as we discussed previously with Pakistan and the rest of the countries being onboarded in the hyperscaling efforts.
This now is the last question from the community channels. After this, we will be moving into live questions from the audience. So if you'd like to start preparing yourself, I will read the last question. It's from Mark Safe from Titan. So Josh, does Jingle require the same changes to phone settings, allowing the app to run in the background as Unity?
No, because Jingle also uses push notifications. So there are a couple of options for developers. They have the option to implement a foreground service or a background service, or they don't have to implement either of those, and they can use push notifications to wake the phone and signal the user that a call is inbound. So the answer is no.
Super. So that brings us to the end of the questions from our partners in the communities. So we'd love to hear some more from you. So if you have questions now, please do request to speak and we will have you on the stage.
Excellent, guys. We'd love to have you up here. Thank you so much for listening. If you do have any questions or you feel that something was answered, in with insufficient details, or you have a question that wasn't asked, please do feel free to hit the request button. We will wait some time for those requests to come through. Okay, we have King Warwolf, we have Callus Bling. I personally have clicked accept on both of you. Thank you very much for joining us. How are you guys today?
Good, good. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, King Warwolf. How are you?
Good, good. I just got a quick question. Can you give us a little bit of an update on Scout and Runner and caller ID on the Unity?
I can tell you that there will be a Unity focused event announced in the next week or so. Scout and Runner is extremely exciting. Nobody's ever done anything like it in the industry as it stands. We are the pioneers of this release, along with the partners at Scout and Runner as a company. It is a third-party release. We will be bringing that third party to the stage in a Unity-focused event. We would like to try to keep today's event focused on Minutes Network as much as possible. On the CLI testing, do expect an announcement soon. We are, lots of commercial contracts in hand, looking very promising, and it's a feature that is in high demand. Obviously, we see that there's a huge amount of global coverage being provided by Unity, and we expect it to be extremely exciting. It's very compelling for the partners, and I hope that's a deep enough answer for you, King Warwolf, on Unity today. As I said, over the next week or so, there will be a dedicated Unity-focused event announced.
Perfect. Thank you. That's all I need.
Thank you, King Warwolf. Callus, how are you today?
Doing pretty good. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can indeed.
Excellent. So just a few questions. regarding Pakistan, there was a few different numbers you threw around. You threw around 2 to 3 million million minutes a month, and then you also threw around 100 million minutes a month. And I was just wondering if there was some clarification there.
Absolutely. So the 2 to 3 million minutes a month for Pakistan are what's been agreed with providers sending, origination providers for Pakistan. The 100 million minutes plus per month are what the companies who will be sending the Pakistan minutes have in hand. More than the 100 million minutes per month, but that's what we've sort of looked at for the rest of the countries for the Jingle integration under the hyperscaling model. So once we see the major success in Pakistan, those 100 million minutes will be onboarded onto the switches in the near future, and they will also be monetized by Jingle as fast as possible, as soon as possible, and sort of as directly put as possible. We want this too, and we are pushing for this too. Pakistan will be first to see major scale on Jingle, and then from there onwards, we will see additional countries that we've already onboarded and some that we haven't start under the hyperscale Jingle integrated model.
So the hyperscale integrated model that you talk about, that's where you guys are pushing your own sort of app or partner app to the high users. Is that's correct, right?
It's not always our own application. Sometimes it's a application from a partner on the ground. Sometimes it is our own application. Sometimes it's a mixture of both. That being said, it's in the interest of the partner on the ground to push, the marketing with us of this application due to the immense amount of revenue available on the table. Often, especially in Pakistan, these partners are telco-based partners as well. And some of them already have existing applications that are already running in the country.
Right. So beyond that, then that's a pretty targeted release, and then we have like Boss Revolution, SEW, those sort of companies, which are more just going out to everyone. When do you expect, maybe, and I know SEW we've been waiting on for a while, but do you have any like insights into something like Boss Revolution, or other companies? Like, would we expect to see them shortly, or is this more like sort of like SEW where they're large companies and they just we're not really sure?
Well, actually, Boss Revolution are a telecommunications based application, and they are a perfect match for what we are doing. We are currently on the last leg of development of a polished demonstration that's fully functional. They have seen a live demonstration previously. They do have access to the repositories, etc. This demonstration enables them to fully understand code integration for their own type of application. And we've created a demo application that's very similar to what they have today. That's coupled with all of the Jingle artifacts already integrated for their developers to have a full understanding, and for their legal department to see that it's pure voice over IP, so that we can move the integration over the line. It's a I would say that it's almost upon us. Okay, I don't know whether it's going to be quicker than Pakistan being released with Jingle at the end of this month, or in the beginning of the new month. But I can tell you that we're rushing towards the target. It is a perfect match. It's very valuable for us as a company. It's valuable for them too as a company. And all of the partners and participants involved would really like to see this happening as soon as possible. So it's in everybody's interest, and we are pushing this over the line. There's not a day that goes past that we don't push our partners and our connections and our developers to ensure that this is taking place as fast as possible.
Right. Okay. And I know me and you have spoken about the buyback bot, and it is a topic that keeps coming up. So we talk about being happy with it and it working as intended, and I know me and you have talked about it. Specifically this. Maybe for the community, you could give sort of an idea of, and I know you got to be careful, but of what sort of timeline you guys are looking at, and what sort of maybe parameters, if you could, like revenue, for example, an increase of revenue that you would be looking for to have the buy bot sort of increase the purchases. If you can just expand on that a little bit.
So actually, that's controlled by parameters out of our control. It's algorithmic by design. We did have a conversation on this, and I have previously explained in previous events and today's event. I can see that in the unofficial community group, people do have feedback on the buy bot as it stands. What I would say to you, if you would like, is to wait just a little bit longer to see the new Explorer and how the details on the buy bot are available. If you still don't like it, then I don't think there's anything we can do for you. Perhaps you should pack up and move elsewhere. If you do like it, then that's fantastic. What we're doing as a company, nobody else is doing. How we're doing it, nobody else is doing it how we're doing it. The partners we have, billion and trillion dollar companies, okay? What we're providing in massive demand, right? The buy bot is built to perform at a certain level, and it's built to be unpredictable. All I can tell you is that you will be happy, and if you are not happy, that might be, something that we cannot control your happiness. Okay, we can only do our best as a company, right? So let me make this clear: the majority will be ecstatic, the same as us. There will always be a few people who would like to complain. That's the way that life goes. We know that in the space of DeepIn, in the space of telecommunications, that we are excelling and we will continue to excel. And we will continue to hit milestones and create new milestones as those milestones are hit. We know that the buy bot will continue to buy, and the amounts that it's buying will increase directly with a revenue and input increase with the company. That is, the message that I can give you today.
Awesome. And I appreciate that, Josh. I know it's a question we've asked a lot. So
I
moving on
understand
to
it's important. It is correlated directly to the revenue generated at the company. And I can tell you that the revenue generated at the company, from my own advice and own sort of opinion, it is going to increase, which means a direct increase in the amount that the buy bot actually buys. The buy bot buys to pay for service fees. Those service fees are rendered as live as possible, and those service fees will never be too out of sync in terms of what's being bought. So I'm really looking forward to the end of February, the beginning of March, and I'm really looking forward to the next AMA, which we will hold as soon as the Pakistan jingle scale takes place.
perfect. I appreciate it. Looking a little bit forward, when will we see something like Jingle be installed in the Unity app?
So it's not a priority. And the reason it's not a priority is because the Unity app doesn't have millions of users yet. We could install it anytime. We could have it there, tomorrow. But we have a very lean team. We have a very serious team, and the team are very focused on what brings revenue the quickest. Now, if we were to spend, a day, half a day integrating into Unity, I'm sure that would be a delight for everybody to see. And it's something that we will do. But it's just not a revenue-based strategic priority. At this company, we make decisions based on strategy. We make decisions based on necessity and based on winning formulas that we believe to be winning formulas. We don't make decisions based on delight. Perhaps we should. Maybe we will in the future as our revenue grows and our propositions, expand, and our network sort of takes larger positions in the industry. We'll spend time on delight. We will spend time on entertaining those that are looking in. But today, it's not a revenue. It's not a strategic importance in terms of revenue. The revenue that it would generate would be minimal. especially that people are, not holding one Unity device. People are holding several. So that being said, not all of those Unity devices are going to be receiving calls. Jingle being an SDK or a plugin that enables, direct connection of calls to various endpoints. I mean, it's only interesting in the real retail sector, right? So
Right.
we'll continue to make strategic decisions. It's a very good question. We will make it happen. It will be integrated as we see the network grow. We will integrate with our partners, and there are a couple of applications just like that. Scan for Points at WM is another one. They're very similar.
Awesome. No, that'd be great. Um, Sort of on the same track. I know you don't want to get too much into Unity here, but uh, could you maybe explain, there's in the Unity white paper, there's the 12.5% that gets paid to Minutes Network. Is that going to go directly on its own, sort of to a separate buyback bot, or is it going to get integrated with the one we currently have? Like, how is that 12.5% going to be allocated? I only ask because Unity is, of course, running, and obviously currently we don't see anything on the Explorer. I understand there's a different Explorer coming for that, but maybe you could touch on that.
Yes, of course. There are plans for the integration of that into the new Explorer. There will be a section dedicated on the new Explorer for Unity. Some of the tasks that Unity offers are commercially, we are utilizing commercial partners at Minutes Network to adopt some of those potential opportunities for our partners, existing partners and new partners. And there will be a small, smallish section on the new Explorer dedicated to Unity where we will see such activity.
Okay, perfect. So we're just waiting on that new Explorer to start seeing that 12%. Yeah, not too many more questions. Just the AI. We talked about this a while ago. You mentioned it today. You said everything we're building has AI sort of in mind. I know we had talked about a AI provider which you guys had partnered with. Is there anything more on that front, or any other fronts for AI agents that you guys are looking at or finding interesting?
There's a hell of a lot going on with AI. We're partnered with a couple of huge companies that are developing AI solutions for call centers, agentic AI feature sets, for telecommunications. When I mentioned AI, I was referring to the sort of products that are being launched under the voice, SMS, and data exchange that will be tested during March by the public, by the closed public circle. You will see more on that soon. These are features such as AI NOCs, network operation control rooms, being replaced by agentic AI, and resource distribution and resource allocation, elastic allocation of resources is very important in telecommunications. It's also in detecting problems with latency and routing and PDD and post-dial delay. It's really helpful when utilized properly. AI in telecommunications is extremely helpful. It's a topic that isn't really being handled by a lot of companies. I mean, there are some companies that are claiming to do a little bit in AI, but nobody really has the full powerhouse that we're about to release. The settlements are even sort of monitored by AI. The anti-fraud, the ability to see who's calling on a route, calling patterns, and to detect different types of spam traffic. And people always want to protect their routes, so it's extremely helpful. The implementations that we have made, the progress that we've seen. I mean, what a fantastic! It's almost like having a human watching, right? But a little bit better in certain ways, because it doesn't need to sleep, it doesn't need to eat, and it doesn't generally miss patterns that have been programmed into it to watch for. So very interesting, very interesting. We helped a client recently eliminate Wangiri. Calls. There's something in the industry called Wangiri, and we helped a client eliminate this entirely from his extremely large network in a matter of hours. Okay, so it's very powerful when handled correctly, and there's a lot of revenue to be generated. And the tool set that we're releasing is very helpful for telco enthusiasts and engineers around the globe.
Excellent. Could you maybe touch on Samoa? I don't know if I didn't think I heard any sort of update about that, how that's going, sort of the government route.
I will
Um,
ask. I will ask Gary to join the next AMA. As I said, we'll be holding another AMA event as soon as Jingle is, appearing in a large way in Pakistan. That being said, I'll let Gary update you guys on Samoa. There are news on Samoa. Gary was recently in Switzerland, meeting with NISA, and I'm sure he has a additional meeting coming up as well. There are a couple of other governmental tied deals like Nigeria, and a couple more places that are ongoing. Obviously, very slow progress, which is another reason why we've chosen to go the hyperscale route. In addition to everything else that we're doing, right? Just to ensure that our progress and destiny is as much in our own control as humanly possible.
Excellent. Amazing. I appreciate all the answers and your time. One more, and then I'll be done. Just if you could give us an update on sort of the exchange, what's going on with that? We haven't heard about that in a while. Just curious.
Could you repeat that one more time, Callus? I do apologize.
Yeah, no problem. Like a few months ago, or middle of 2025, we were hearing about sort of the exchange that was being sort of built for the
Yes, yes.
for the carriers. Could you kind of give us an update on what's going on there?
So as I said earlier in the session, March we're expecting existing interconnected and partners and some closed circle partners from the public to test that exchange. It does incorporate all of our technologies. It will allow voice and SMS and data companies to buy and sell immediately on the platform. We will be taking a margin of those transactions. It does eliminate fraud in the process. It does open wider opportunities to those who previously may not have had the connections that are available on the exchange. It will be available for everybody to log in and register and have a look and buy and sell to and from. Settlement is instant, handled by WM Chain. Escrow is also instant. Interconnection is also instant, handled by a smart contract. Very, very nice platform that we've built. Today, graphically, it doesn't look like anything, but the release will make sure that the graphics are on point. Technically, today, it's amazing. It's a product that we are very proud of. We'll be sort of distributing that at the relevant events like Capacity Dubai. We'll be inviting partners to come on board and test. Obviously, when people go to these events, these telco related events, they are looking to find new interconnections, find cheaper rates, find better routes. And, whether they're buying or selling, they're always looking for something. So you could kind of see this as a digital place where everybody can connect like a conference center, but available 24/7 from the comfort of your own telephone or desk. So we do expect it to be extremely busy. We do have quite a few big names that have, agreed in a soft way to have a go. They understand the principle, they understand the logic, they understand the strategic benefits, and generally they're very excited. So we have a couple of bots live on the exchange, AI agents that help with onboarding, that help with route matching and price matching. And we have AI studying the traffic profile, so nobody can say, well, this is call center traffic and actually send wholesale traffic, which doesn't exist in the market today. So extremely exciting time for the exchange, and we're very happy and proud of what we've done, and we're looking forward to the release.
Yeah, sorry, I must have missed your earlier update. I didn't have it written anywhere down, so my apologies for that. And just one, sorry, someone in the unofficial chat was just curious if the 12.5%, it isn't actually being shown on the polls right now, right? It's just kind of being held in a.
It is not shown. It wouldn't be too hard to add. I will make a note to the technical team to add it to the existing platform, but eventually it will be appearing directly on the new Explorer. So if we do add it now, we're doing work twice that we should have only done once, right? We don't like to
Yeah.
perform redundant work. We do stand by our commitment. We do stand by what has been said, and it will be there.
Perfect. No, I appreciate that, and yeah, thanks very much for the update. I think that's all my questions.
No, of course, Callus. Thank you very much for coming on stage. We do have Matt Larsh here today. Hi, Matt. How are you? If you can hear me.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can indeed. How are you today?
Cool, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming up. And how may we help you?
Yeah, on that 12.5%, so you're going to have it in the Explorer, but is it already part of the buyback or is it
Visually, no,
not in the buyback
and
yet?
effectively, no. So visually, no, right? It's not there visually, and effectively, in reality, it is there, but you cannot see it, and it's not being utilized. It will be utilized as a greater part of the funds. It's not something that we consider separate. We consider it as one, and it will be visible on the new Explorer. The only reason that it's not visible today is because we would have to do sort of work twice, right? We would have to implement it into the. It's not actually that much work. It's a simple API that needs to be created from the back end and called to the front end, right? But we're not spending any time upgrading the existing Explorer, obviously, because there has been a new Explorer in the works for quite some time now. And just to add to that, I
But
did. Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
I just, I don't, so when you say that, I don't understand. Is it being added to the daily revenue or is it not being added?
It is not added to the visual daily revenue, but it is added to the daily revenue that we see on the back end.
Okay, okay, cool.
Yes, and just to sort of add to my answer there, Matt, we are a small team, okay, and we do try to be effective in the way that we spend time. If we, spent 4 to 5 hours implementing additional API endpoints and sort of making this visualizable on the existing Explorer, I mean, for us, it's a waste of 5 or 6 hours, right? It's a quarter of a day's work. It's 40% of a day's work for one of our team members. That they could be doing something else. So we save time where possible, and we operate in a lean and efficient and strategic modus operandi. So I do hope that answers your question, Matt.
Cool, yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, just one more
Of
question I
course.
had. Okay, with the buyback bot, my main confusion is so when I joined the community and I saw the buyback and it had like a certain amount of money and I was like, okay, there's a large amount of money, they can't buy it all at once, and I see it getting lower for like 6 months, and then the last 6 months it's getting higher, which that made sense to me. It's getting lower, they're using the buyback, but when it starts getting higher, like every day it's getting higher, like every month, every the last 6 months it's getting higher. That's what I don't understand is like, what is the purpose for it sitting, like, this revenue's building up, what is the purpose of it sitting there for a year? It makes sense to me when it was getting lower, but it just adding up more and more. I don't understand the purpose of it just sitting there. Like, wouldn't the change happen? And like, if it serves a purpose, that's great. If there's a reason, I just don't understand why it keeps going up.
Right. So actually, I do believe that the intention of the buy bot is actually to algorithmically purchase to the amount that's actually available, and that is a random amount. The fact that you're telling me that it's going up, understood. Perhaps you see it visually going up because the buy bot draws directly from that balance. So, sort of when it spends, the balance is deducted from the amount in a live manner, right? That being said, I think if you look at the past 6 months in terms of spend, and I don't have those numbers in front of me. I think it's a decent amount, and I think that amount, I know that amount will increase as the revenue increases. So if you're asking why the buy bot doesn't just utilize all of the available revenue and purchase everything right now or everything over the next 2 months, that's just not how it's built.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but like I don't know, 9 months ago, like say it was at 600K and it would start going down to 500K, and now like Like,
I think
let's say 4 months ago it was at 450. Now it's at 500K,
mm,
which is like it's not spending as much revenue as it's coming in. I would think it would be lower to zero, but unless I'm just not understanding,
I
I don't
will
know.
personally review those numbers today, but I think that it's used in excess of maybe close to $500,000 over that time period. So it's not that it was at 500 6 months ago and today it's at 400. Revenue has been created and utilized over that time. So whatever you see it as today, you should you should consider what has been utilized in that time. But I will have a look at this directly. If I'm honest with you, it's not something that I look at on a daily basis, and I actually haven't looked at it in the past 30 or 40 days. My focus is a strategic focus on increasing the amount of revenue coming into the company, increasing the amount of Jingle available endpoints that will be available, and my focus is also on company expansion, right, in terms of revenue and let's say productive partnerships. So that being said, I'll take a look at it and I will provide you more information for the next events.
Okay, that sounds awesome. Thank you.
No, thank you so much, Matt. If you have any additional questions, we would love to answer them. We don't actually have anyone else who's requesting to speak. I know that every event we get told, I had my hand up to speak and nobody answered. We love you guys to come and participate. There's nothing. We don't want a boring event where people don't feel satisfied with their questions being answered. So if you do have any questions, we don't see anybody pressing request. There is no request button visible on my screen. Please either restart your Twitter application, your X application, and re-request to speak, or maybe there really is nobody asking any more questions. So either way, I'm happy to continue. Maybe we'll wait just a couple more minutes for people to tune in. I see a question from Rat Pouch in the official token community. Does Jingle support group calls? At this time, it does not support conference calling. Conference calling is I use it myself. I used PSTN based conference calling all the time. I'm consistently merging calls with, different organizations and partners. But I don't think too many people use it these days. A lot of conference calling is moving to WhatsApp. That being said, it is supported on the PSTN leg. So, it doesn't know any different. But on the on the SIP side, where the call is being received into the application and terminated, it really does not support conference calling at this time. That being said, it is something that we could look into implementing, but strategically it just wasn't a focus at this time. Dpin says, thanks for the updates, Josh. Absolutely, you're more than welcome, Dpins. If there's anything else that needs to be said, please do drop a message in the official channel or unofficial channel. Ben Schiller, when is revenue expected to be enough to support the token price to stay at TGE levels or raise above? Yeah, that's not something that I can comment on. You will have to draw your own conclusion. I cannot provide such advice on today's call. We obviously are extremely excited about what the future holds and what the future brings. This technology is immense. It's amazing. People are amazed by the fact that we can now bridge PSTN, public switching telephony network, telephone calls directly to end users on applications. And they're amazed that the quality is even better than that of a standard line. When the quality is bad because the internet is bad, the validation nodes don't allow the call to connect. So, we actually filter those bad potential calls that could connect. And the ACD in our tests, and in the small bits of production that have gone by, we see fantastic numbers. We're very, very happy. So whilst I can't give you a direct answer, Ben, you will have to make your own conclusion and assumption, and you are welcome to do so. William Nuvola, hey Josh, so should we see the new Explorer within the end of February, beginning of March, along with Jingle integration? Thanks a lot. Yes, the new Explorer will follow shortly after or before the integration takes place, and we are patiently and eagerly waiting for our development team to proceed and with that release, right? It's happening, it's taking place now. Uh, the Pakistan Jingle integration is massive for us, right? It's also massive for all of our onlooking interconnections and partners. It's massive for the groups involved. Everybody's excited. Everybody wants this. For me personally, I mean, it's a personal milestone as well. So super excited. The answer is yes, indeed. Nashi 82, will a tier one exchange follow on from Pakistan rollout? You'll have to make your own conclusions or wait for the next MNTX AMA. I can't comment on the token for various reasons at this time. I did see that WMTX has been listed on Coinbase amongst another couple of tier ones, and I know that they're not done yet. So I do believe, that it's a very interesting time, isn't it? Indeed. Let's see what the future holds, and appreciate the question, Nashi. Do we have anybody else that would like to come up on stage? I hope today's event has been fruitful in terms of the knowledge and information shared and updates shared. We have tried to cover all of the open subjects. Obviously, there are some new bits and additional bits that we didn't, try to pack into today's event. We tried to keep things clear with absolute clarity and not, make anything confusing. The creators program, for one of them, I mean, it's flying ahead. It's very exciting. There's a lot of people involved. There is something on the tip of my tongue I can't tell you because it's better as a surprise. So lots of surprises in store, lots happening, lots of work on this side of the board. Appreciate all of the community. What you've heard today, it's not a vision, it's not a promise, it's execution, and it's only accelerating. We're getting faster, we're getting stronger, we're getting bigger, we are growing, and we appreciate every single one of you joining our session and showing up today. So if you have any more questions, please jump on live. Alex, when is the next Unity AMA? I can't give you an exact date, but it will be answered by an announcement made in the next couple of days. I don't think it's far away. This is Minutes Network. This is what we do. We're here to change the game. We are here to lead the industry on a new path. And I want to leave you with this, right? So as soon as Jingle begins its major ramp up in Pakistan, we'll be hosting another event. It will be a surprise event. It will happen on the day, on the moment, and it will be a dedicated Minutes Network telecommunications event. It'll be kind of a round table. It won't just be us on stage. There'll be, some industry leaders, some partners, strategic partners, and the people building this with us, right? Sitting alongside us, and they will speak for what they see. So it's a $251 billion industry. And as it moves through the industry every single year, we didn't come to participate, ladies and gentlemen. We came to lead. So the flywheel is spinning. It doesn't stop. And until next time, thank you very much. I appreciate your time and I wish you a lovely day.